And we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Live. The topic in question, Anthony Joshua against Kubrat Pulev. Yep, that day, October the 28th, I believe, in Cardiff. It's a bit perplexing really for me because I don't understand why Wilder didn't have a fight. Wilder had the opportunity he had his mandatory decide to step aside, which was Stavern. Joshua didn't have an opponent, although Kubrat Pulev said he was going to be that opponent. Ortiz also said he was mandatory. I don't understand why Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder didn't just fight. It was the perfect time to make that fight. Joshua Wilder, yeah, it was a big fight, but it was a great time to make the fight. We would have then had the opportunity to have a undisputed champion, or as close to an undisputed champion as there could have been. That was my thinking. You know, Joshua was fighting in October, and Wilder's fighting the week after in November, supposedly. So that would have been fantastic. Imagine a unification bout. But people say, oh, well, it takes time to promote and blah, 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 and all excuses to make the fight even bigger. But guess what? If Wilder were to get beaten in his next fight, then that fight no longer is the super fight because somebody's O has just gone. So then that would need to, if Ortiz was that guy to take the O, or example, if Dillian White were to fight and some way Dillian White beat Wilder, then Joshua's beaten Dillian White already. So, you know, so I don't see why it's as big a fight as it can get. Joshua Wilder, get it on. But hey, it's just my thinking. It would have made sense, but money and all the rest of it. Okay, so the fight that's been announced is Kubrat Pulev versus Anthony Joshua. Right from the get-go for this fight, there was talk Kubrat Pulev saying he needs 3 months to prepare. Now, you're a professional fighter. You know you're a mandatory. You're going to push for your mandatory. Surely you want to keep yourself in the gym and take over and be in shape. And you know that you're going to fight Anthony Joshua next. This business about I need 3 months to prepare. What the hell are you doing, eating kebabs? Yeah, I don't understand it. This man, it's not like in the, like, for example, back in the 60s and the 50s where these guys, you know, you gave them a week's notice or 2 weeks notice and they go and take a fight. Some guys, 3 days notice. I mean when Steve Robinson fought, who did he fight for? He fought somebody for the WBO world title. Hey, he won his world title. Called him Cinderella Man. And I know Steve Robinson had what, a week a week's notice, or six or 5 days notice, and he took the opportunity to go on and become world champion. Kubrat Pulev saying he's need three months to prepare. So what the hell has he been doing prior to that? He knew that Joshua was going to fight him, or if not, he should be easing heavyweight. He should be keeping himself in shape. It's not like he's like 23, 24. He's what, 38, 39. So he needs to be keeping himself active in the gym and in shape. But anyway, beside the point, it is what it is. Now he's saying that he needs more time and all the rest of it. I don't know if that's tactical, strategic, or it's trying to get as much money as possible for the fight and think, well, you know, I need more time to prepare. If I say that, then you know, it might scupper plans for the October 28th bill. And you know, Kubrat Pulev probably already knew beforehand that the stadium was already secured in Cardiff. I was like, oh well, let me see if I can get more money out of this. I'm not getting paid as much money as I like to get paid. So if I put out, oh, I'm not going to be ready for the fight, I'm not going to be fit enough, I'm not going to be ready, then you know, yeah, they might cancel the bout, and then there'll be problems, because you know what, the next mandatory is Lewis Ortiz. He's not going to really fancy taking Lewis Ortiz fight. They're going to want to fight me. So hey, let me just try and get as much money as I can out of this one. So that may be the gig from Lewis, or from Kubrat Pulev, or you know, he may genuinely have a situation where he does feel he needs more time to prepare. But nonetheless, the fight is October the 28th. So the fight itself, I think I said it on Twitter. Let's start with Anthony Joshua. I think the Klitschko fight, before the Klitschko fight, you could look at Joshua for one eye and say Well, you know, he's big, he's strong, but how good is he? Then you look at him with both eyes and say, all right, oh, okay. So he did the chin check. I mean, he didn't get hit. He got hit on the chin more than once, and people like to say, oh, well, you know, he's got a bit of a weak chin. He got hit with some big shots by Klitschko and stood up before he got dropped by a huge right hand. And then after that, there were parts where Klitschko was, you know, there was one point where Josh actually walked onto Klitschko's shot and he was able to take that punch. So I think Joshua's chin is okay. Well, it's certainly been tested, and he's got off the deck, regardless of the situation with Vitaly Klitschko telling him to hold back and not go for Joshua. That's the Klitschko problem, not Joshua's problem. So he showed heart, guts to get up, fought against a genuine world-class heavyweight puncher with a high ratio of KOs to his name. Think what you want of Povetkin, but I'd say he's got world-class heavyweight and he's got a good chin. Klitschko was able to knock him down quite a few times. I heard stories that Klitschko was told by no uncertain terms, do not knock out Povetkin. So I don't know. He was in Russia at the time. That's what I heard. I don't know how true those rumors are. Now, so Joshua's chin's, he's passed the test there. The question mark about Joshua's stamina. Well, yeah, okay, fine, but he went to the 11th round and was able to stop Klitschko in the 11th. So fair enough there. And he doesn't mind a fight. So for me, Joshua, out of all the current heavyweights around, barring like a Stavern maybe, or a anyone who's been in a bit of a war, you know, had to be in a tough bout, hit in a hurt fight, and hit and hurt in a fight and come back. Who else we've got in the top 10? Wilder, Luis Ortiz is still a question mark for me. Joshua, as I said, he's come for a real war. Like I say, Stavern's come through 2 back-to-back fights with Arreola when Arreola was as good as Arreola will ever be. A fight where he got hit himself and hurt and come back, particularly his second fight. So my point is this: Joshua he's definitely got a target on his back, but when you look at what he's done, it makes him very dangerous. Again, does that win inflate Joshua? No, but extend him to a point where we got to see him tested, which he did get tested. Kubrat Pulev, has he actually recovered from the Klitschko knockout? Now, I have a theory about the Klitschko knockout, and some people may say maybe, some people may say maybe not. In light of what we discovered when Tyson Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko, in light of the gloves, in light of the canvas, in light of all the tricks, the Klitschko era, could it be possible that Vlad was training on a canvas that was bouncy and sponge-like, and Kubrat Pulev, who's normally a bit of a mover in his fights, was stuck in treacle? So when Vlad was bouncing around, he was used to working on that canvas, and that night, Kubrat Pulev was basically on sponge. Possibly. I wouldn't put it past the Klitschko's, and I said it before. There was another fighter that we lost in world boxing. Another Cuban. I can't remember his name again, but the Cuban that Vitaly fought, and he got injured. I think he damaged his knee. Again, the canvas have anything to do with it? Anyway, to cut a very long story short, Kubrat Pulev, one thing he has got is a decent jab. He's got the amateur experience, but question mark about Kubrat Pulev's power. I think Anthony Joshua, having literally fought with Klitschko, will look at Kubrat Pulev and say, yeah, you're breakfast for me, because if I'm able to take out Klitschko, who the hell are you? So Joshua is going to be coming into this fight with a newfound confidence. Hope not an arrogance, but newfound confidence, because he fought and beat Klitschko and stopped Klitschko. But there were some things in the Klitschko fight early that fight fans shouldn't ignore. The fact that Joshua, when put on the back foot, didn't quite know what to do for the first 3 to 4 rounds. Now, I don't know if that was because he was cautious of Klitschko, or because he generally, his boxing skills off the back foot when his back's against ropes is not good. I don't know. And, you know, we won't know until he fights Kubrat Pulev. Pulev's got a good jab. I would argue to say Kubrat's got a better jab than Joshua. That being said, I come back to Kubrat Pulev. I don't think he's overcome. I think he's still got Klitschko problems. I think he's still got left hook problems. And you saw every time Klitschko threw the left hook, Pulev was there to be hit over and over and over again. Kubrat Pulev at no stage was able to adjust or make the adjustments. I just wonder if Anthony Joshua comes out first round against Pulev and puts it on him early, whether he's going to be having Klitschko memories all over again. Because, you know, Klitschko really did a number on him. He really did a number on Pulev. And Pulev's jab was able to wobble Klitschko. Remember that left jab? But then after that left jab, that's where he got nailed. Again, another thing, when you greedy like Pulev, he had an opportunity and he stayed too long in the pocket, and that's where he got nailed, and that's the reason why he got knocked down in the first fight. You know, when I watch Kubrat Pulev, he reminds me of somebody who's fencing. Have you ever seen a fencer where he looks like a fencer when he boxes? I just don't like his now, having looked at it, that vulnerability to the left hook. Now, I don't know if that was just because Klitschko was so much more taller, he was able to do that. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it's the canvas, which didn't give Kubrat Pulev the ability to kind of get a good footing in the fight. Because I was always wondering, when he fought Klitschko, why he didn't move around the ring and use the jab. So if it was the canvas, then that explains it. If it was something else, then Kubrat Pulev's in for a world of pain. And if it's true that Kubrat Pulev is not as fit as he should be, then Joshua could win this fight pretty early, because I don't think he's going to have any respect for Pulev's power, which maybe to his undoing, thinking, well, I'll beat Klitschko, I'll take you out. But again, Pulev's what, 38 years old? So who knows? But I'm going to go over Joshua Win here. And Joshua Win inside 4 rounds. Yeah, inside 4 rounds. So I think once Joshua nails him, I don't think Kubrat's going to get himself out of any problems. I don't think he's got over the Klitschko thing. And if he's not fit, then I just don't. I think the Klitschko fight ruined him. I really do. I really think that Klitschko fight ruined him. I like Kubrat Pulev, but he says that this fight suits him, but I don't think this fight does suit him. But there you go. So I'm going Joshua by knockout. By the way, people that are in the room who may have been in the room earlier, I did reach out to King Kong Boxing, and as with Axel Russell, when I spoke to King Kong Boxing, they couldn't call me back. There was something wrong with my phone. So when they tried to ring me back, they couldn't, as you saw earlier, they were unable to get through to me. So sod's law, we didn't get that interview, but maybe we can get it some other time. Talking to King Kong Boxing, it was Jay Jimenez from King Kong Boxing. So yeah, Yeah, Solis was the guy I was talking about. Let's see. Good morning, Lakvinda. Lakvinda, hope you're well. And we will eventually see a unification bout after Joshua Pulev and Wilder Ortiz. Sanctuary just seemed reluctant and a bit random. What do you reckon? Well, after Wilder Ortiz, whoever the winner that is, and the winner of Bermain Stavern and Brazil, the winner of that will be mandatory for whoever the WBC champion is. So we'll see. Unification, Pulev versus Ortiz. The division needs a Super 6 tournament badly, and not until the Gypsy King returns. Well, I wouldn't want Gypsy King anywhere near Super 6 at the moment. Why is Wilder facing season instead of White? Why would you what easier fight, more money? Good point. I don't get that either. Latvinda, he's done, but I'm glad I did end up in Dusseldorf to see it live. Was a game changer for the heavyweight division. Barry Ryan says way more money for the White fight and builds his name in the UK unification. Wow, I think there must have been some night. Adam Scott says it's a bit weird, but I guess it's a great fight for whatever wants to take it. Yo, says boxing fan. Evening, Charlie C. Hope you well, my friend. Did you not get in contact with King Kong? They contacted me back. I'll even read the message for you so you can see for yourself or read for yourself. Where is it? 1976. Okay. Here we go. Guys, we've got here. Hi, you tried to ring me back. It's Ingram from Bayloric TV or BWTM Sports. Apologies, you will remember me from Bayloric TV. Apologies for connection, was ringing from Europe via Skype. And then Jay says, I called you back, but I can't hear you. I'll try again. So, and I explained to him that I'd like to invite him on the show to do a live interview. And he's seen the message, so I'll wait and see what he says. So there you go. Joe Joyce versus Ian Lewson. Who wins, guys? Good fight for his pro debut. It's an interesting fight. Taking chances with Joe Joyce. Hearn said fight off in chronological order. Pulev, then Ortiz, then Wilder, whatever. I really don't care for what he's got to say. With Charles Martin in between, yeah. Joe Joyce thinks he's Lomachenko. Said he wants Joshua in 7 to 8 fights. But Joe Joyce has to be fast-tracked because he's a little older. Joyce, probably, but hope losing comes in good shape and gives it a proper go. Remember, this is Joe Joyce that got beat up by Usyk, right? Joyce has a terrible defense. Hope he's improved since he fought Usyk. There you go. Pulev shit went 12 rounds with Mr. Chubby Checker, Kevin Johnson, not too long ago. AJ will blow him away. No head movement, no feints. Joyce, that is. Yeah, Pulev hadn't the power. I would rather have seen him fight David Haye than Pulev if he ever recovers. According to George Groves, he's got a long time to recover, David Haye. I'd rather see AJ versus Bellew. I'd rather see Bellew versus Dillian White, to be honest. David Achilles foot that Haye to see Bellew carried out. Bellew wants Bisping in a cage. Wouldn't mind seeing AJ fight Big Baby. Yeah, that's what I said. AJ fighting Big Baby Miller. That was what fight I'd call for. Or Wilder fighting Big Baby Miller. Or Ortiz fighting Big Baby Miller. Yeah, Big Baby's solid, but lump. Ortiz, Solis, okay, a fat boy. If you put £100 on Joshua in this fight, the bookies give you £2 back. Sky main event with Chisora versus White 2 on the undercard. Solis was 220 in the amateurs and battered Haye, but shows up 260 against Vitali and ruined his knee. Fat waste of space it was. I think a big mistake Joshua did in the click fight, which probably led to his knockdown, was the fact that he celebrated after Klitschko's knockdown. So mentally he wasn't in the zone, lost a lot of focus and energy doing that. AJ was too busy thinking Allah of the Klitsch knockdown. Yes, Klitschko just walks in from a mile away, and that with that left hook, they never seem to be able to avoid it. That's because he blinds you with the left jab. The jab looks like it's that, but what it actually does, it's a right hand and a left hook. So sometimes he jumps in with it. He's leaping in with it. He's there. leaps in left hook. Sometimes he throws a jab, throws a jab, throws a jab, jab, left hook. See, blinds you with a jab and then throws a left hook. So before you get your hand, you put the jab, you bring your hand down, you bring your hands down. There's a quick left hook inside, which does the damage. So it's jab, hook. Yeah, nice move from Klitschko. Boys, any chance of a Cuban light heavyweight going pro anytime soon? LA Cruz, okay. Get Bashir on to expose all the Klitschko dirty tricks before fights. They are all real scumbags. Joshua, massive favourite. Pulev doesn't have much to do to Joshua anyway. It's true. I can see Molina type fight where Pulev bricks it. I can see that too. Hearn's not stupid. After the Vlad fight, he wants to fight in a turkey like Pulev, who AJ can have an easy fight against, KO early and build the invisibility factor back up. And Eddie can bank 20% with no risk factor. Discussing what happened to Carson on the weekend. How's he feeling now and what's able to say? Well, we spoke to Carson Jones, and Carson was pretty gutted about the whole thing, actually. He's pretty gutted. I mean, you know, he's saying he wanted to get a rematch in February. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can still talk to Carson. Let me see if I can get Mr. Sanchez again on the phone. I'm going to try. I've been trying for the last God knows how long trying to get Sanchez on the phone. But we'll try again. If not, then keep talking to me, people. What happened with Carson Jones? Oh, dear. You know what? I think I'm going to have to email Abel. What's with all the fake journalism and fake reporters? Are they all paid to lie and kiss Margarita's ass? I've got no idea why they did that. No idea whatsoever. Let me give Carson a call to see how he's doing. Let me see if I can get Carson and see what he's got to say for himself.
Please leave your message for Carson Jones.
And then I'll contact him and tell me, is that you who tried to call me? And I'll say yes. And he'll go, well, ring me back then. Oh dear. You know what I might try and talk to? See if we can get him. The trainer of Errol Spence. See if we can get him. Mind you, it's 2 o'clock, so I have to call him on Skype, I think. But we're trying to get somebody else to talk to Skype. If you want to know what Ross thinks, go on Twitter and find out what Ross thinks. He's more than happy to give you his number. Talk to Russell on Twitter. Does anyone think Mayweather right now would beat Spence? I don't know. I'm not sure. Why? That's why UFC is so successful under one umbrella. No politics as such. No dodgy scoring from home. Guys, keep talking. So I heard, yeah, watching back the Pulev fight, body, and when he gets in a position to throw the left hook, it's the same position he throws the right hand from. Charlie says, what would Wilder, who would pick Wilder to beat AJ if they fought now, Ingram? Or would you pick Wilder to beat AJ if they fought now, Ingram? Out of the two of them, Wilder's a one-handed fighter. Joshua has two hands. He can hit you and hurt you with a left hook. He can hurt you with a right hand. He can hit you with the uppercut. So he's got more variety in punching. The straighter puncher is Wilder in terms of the straight right hand, because that's his big punch, his right hand. I don't know. It's a tough one. I wanted to Jesus, I wanted to fight it for years, but Floyd's really is TBE, very, very privileged to watch the great man live. I think he would still outsmart Spence, even now nick it on points. I'd say so. 60-40 Joshua's favor. Having that kind of power with a left hook is quite something, considering that's his weaker side. Yeah, that's something. Tells you something. No, Wilder only has a puncher's chance in that fight. He's got poor fundamentals. He has, but he's got a big puncher's chance based on his, what he does. He's got a big puncher's chance for sure. For sure. These people I'm trying to ring for you. These people I'm trying to get a hold of is what I have to do is email some of these people. That's what I'm going to do, because it's the time difference is so different. I don't know what sort of shape that Lewis is going to come in. If Lewis comes in good shape, then it could be an interesting fight. Let's try this. I believe this. I believe this. Joy's fresher, hungrier, fitter. Depends how many rounds it's scheduled for. Yeah. If it's a 10-rounder or 12-rounder, yeah, but it depends. Yeah, it could be like a 6-rounder. It's an odd. It's a 6-rounder. Lewison has a chance, definitely. Could see UK prospects Joyce, Dubois, and Gorman are already better than the current two fighting for the title next one, Sexton and Cornish. Oh dear. It's not good, is it? Really not good. Not good at all. Really not good. Thoughts on Friday night, next gen? Who's looking the best in your eyes? I was glad to see Lawrence Okoli go some rounds. I think that gives a young fighter a different reality to what he may have had before. Coley was awful. Coley's a bum. Couldn't box for shit. Well, I was happy that Coley went from rounds. I don't have any opinion of Coley, to be honest, and I don't have any opinion of Dubois either. I just know he's big and he's strong. Cheeseman pretty good too. But yeah. But I didn't watch the next gen, to be honest. I just watched the Coley fight because David Allen was talking about it on Twitter, and he was saying how Coley needs to be slowed right down. That's the only reason really why I went to see the fight, watch the fight afterwards. But otherwise, I really want to, you know, put some respect in Cornish's name. So let's talk. So we've talked about Joshua Kubrat Pulev. The undercard, Chisora versus White 2. That'd be interesting. Let's imagine that is Chisora versus White 2. There's a fight to talk about. Who would you guys think would win, Chisora versus White 2? Chisora versus White 2, guys. Who are you picking? Who are you backing? And why? I think Chisora's got to get himself in better shape, though. He really has. If Chisora can get himself in better shape, Dillian White again. I think Dillian White, Chisora. I didn't think Dillian White won the first time. White, I think more convincing. White on points. Dillian White again. I think White won last time unofficially. Chisora did. I thought so. White 8 rounds to 4. Okay. I need to go back and look at the fight again. I thought it was a great fight. I really did. It's a nice classic fight that was. That was really good. White slaps more than a cow slappy. He's terrible. Tears Dirt Serial Bum. Draw the first time. Dillian will win more convincing. Hello, London Predator. Good to see you in the room. Would be fair. White will do better this time. He looked in better shape in America. Really? Ingram, you heard in this super series there won't be any drawn fights. Wow. That's something. It's going to be no drawn fights. So that'd be interesting. Got a good fight coming up soon. Usyk versus Huck. We've got Callum Smith versus Sokoland. We've got Mike Perez. I think it's good though. No drawn fights. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let me see here. Let me see if I can do it here. I'll try and get the call here going. Let me see if I can get this call for you. Where are you? Nope. Can't find it. No chance. No chance. Grows by technical lock on. Do you ever sleep? Yeah, I'm going to sleep in a minute, but I slept late. Cox hype job, I believe. He won't be able to get past the jab of Groves. Jim Beast under light sucks. What happened to Bashir coming on 7 p.m.? Well, long story. Chisora White, a better fight than Joshua Clip. I think Eubank beats Groves possibly. Do you think that we've got a prime GG even though he's undefeated? No, I don't. I think he's on the slide. I think he's on the slide. Now, Eubank is Groves' worst nightmare. Volume puncher who keeps coming with a good chin. Yeah, yeah. Eubank makes a lot of technical mistakes, so we'll see. He makes a lot of mistakes. He makes lots of thing errors. So, Right. I think I've said what I've got to say here. So my theory is Kubrat Pulev, whether he's in shape or not, I think he's rabbit in the headlights. I think he might have when he comes to England and fights Joshua. I think Joshua's going to steamroll him. I really do. Random, but who have you got for Luis Ortiz versus Joseph Parker? Don't know. As a matter of fact, I know today that Stavern is meant to be sparring with I think Joseph. I think we may be talking Joseph Parker next week. Oh, this week actually. So we'll see. Oh my god. Yeah. On the subject of the gaming channel, I've spent half the day there on the gaming channel, just trying to get it fixed up. So Parker versus Huey thoughts. Yeah, actually, I've got some thoughts on Huey versus Joseph Parker. I'm going to know more about Joseph Parker this week because he's going to be in camp with Stavern. He's actually sparring to prepare for Huey Fury. So I'll know a bit more about Joseph Parker. To me, I'm concerned as to how much Huey Fury is training, and I'm always concerned that he may overtrain before the fight. That's why I'm concerned. I just hope Huey's not overtrained and save the best of himself in the gym or up one of them hills. I really do. I really hope so. What channel is Parker Huey on? I heard it's on ITV pay-per-view. That would do terribly. Hennessy said should put it on Channel 5 like usual. Remember though, GGG started late, hasn't been in many wars relatively. Try telling that to Bernard Hopkins, Charlie. Is it me, or do you think Huey is early easier at Ports Parker? They postpone the announcement. I mean, easily. Usually, Hennessy trick. Maybe he needed some better opponents when he was in that kind of form. Yeah, that's what I thought. I've always thought that Gennady Golovkin should have fought better opponents when earlier in his career. Fights like Dominic bloody Wade and flipping Matthew Macklin, there was just no point. Absolutely no point. Pointless fights. Even Daniel Gee fight was pointless, but hey, people will justify that. The last thing I heard in terms of the welterweights, Errol Spence was due to fight Luis Collazo, but now, from what I understand, they're looking at potentially either Lamont Peterson or Victor Ortiz. I reckon Pirog would have knocked Golovkin out personally, but we can't, So Spence, I don't want to see Spence fight Luis Ortiz, because as soon as Spence hits into the body, he'll fall over. I would like to see Spence fight Peterson. I think it's a very good fight. I like Lamont Peterson because he seems like a guy who's always improving. I mean, there was that question mark about the PEDs and all this, but I like Lamont Peterson. I think he's a very good fighter, very talented fighter, very good all-round boxer. Spence versus Ortiz. Charlie, you made me smile. You made me laugh. I like that one. Spence versus Luis Ortiz, you joker. Right, I think I'm done here. I think I've got not much more to say. Let me. I want to share something with you guys, though, so you can all have a look at it and tell me what you think of it. I'd love to know what you guys think of it. Check this out. Tell me what you think. This is the world of social media today. I've got to show you this. You've got to see this. I want to show you this. Here. I'm going to push this link in. Thank you, Charlie. I need somebody to make me laugh in here. Check this out. Here. Click this article and tell me what you think of it. You tell me what you think of the article. Bearing in mind, it's only just recently come out. Shout out to Mikey for pointing it out to me. Check that article. Tell me what you think. Yeah. All right. And then watch this. Let me. Let me show you something, because this is something I don't think a lot of you guys are aware of that I want to show you. Here you go. Here's this one. Now look at that. See, that's how you do it properly. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. This is sort of crap that I'm talking about. That's how you do it properly. My friends over at Ukrainian Boxing News, always give them a shout out, because they're the first people I share my interviews with. Is Ukrainian Boxing News. They're the first. Apparently, Dan Raphael watches your channel for the latest news. Well, if you watch my channel for the latest news, then you would know that Carson Jones dug him out. So there you go. I'm going to see if we can get Carson Jones. I want to talk to Carson again, because I like Carson. I want to hear what he's got to say for himself. If he's got anything further to say, because he's now back in America, and he's there. He's online. He's online, so I don't know what he's playing at. So let me see something. Okay, we'll wait and see what happens there. If I get anything in the next couple of minutes, then fine. If I don't, I'm moving on for the night. I'll let you read the articles and see it yourself. There you go. See, they link it, but see what I don't like about it is that they link the interview to I'm a source. I'm just a source. I'm not BWTM Sports. The real boxing fans know Dan Raphael's just a slimy snake who wants to be the first to everything when he's not. He also had no clue how to score a fight. I've met Dan Raphael once, and well, I'll keep my thoughts to myself. It's probably the best thing to do. Stay professional, but it's what it is. Doesn't want to give you credit. That's all right. That's all right about that. That's right. It don't matter. You know, this world is a world of karma. What goes around surely comes around. And you know what? I don't care if they don't want to give me credit. I don't give a damn. I don't owe them anything. So I'm all right. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I'll keep getting my interviews and keep doing what I'm doing, and it's fine. Just they better be careful. That's all I'm saying. Because you know what? If I'm doing it for my little room, he should have at least credited Bayloric for at least. I know, but this is the sort of journalism you've got today around. Okay, and that's why I don't share my stuff with these people. I don't go to them. I go to you. I go to that's the one people I go to Ukrainian Boxing News, and they share my articles. the first one to share my articles out, put my articles out there. So yeah, I'm not bothered, really not. I know what it is, I know what it's not, so I'm not bothered, really not. Dan Rafa, who spends more time looking at his crisp packet than watching the flag these calls. It is what it is, isn't it? You just have to leave it as it. You just keep going on, just keep doing the work, keep shining bright. That's what it's about, people. Shining bright and doing your job and making sure that you stay on top of things where you can. So, right. I don't think I've got much more to say tonight. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I need to get some rest. I've been up 6-1 down, yeah, and I need to get rest. I was in hospital for 3 or 4 hours today, so get blood tests and heart check and all the rest of it. I'm fine. Well, I'm fine now, but so I need to get some rest and look after oneself. All right. Yeah. So down is Rafael Disguise. Yeah, Slick, I will definitely get back on this game probably tomorrow with Leicester City. I ain't playing. I can't. I got rest tonight. I'm gonna go tomorrow and definitely play. I'll start early tomorrow, and I'll get stuck into it. What's he like in person? I prefer him on Twitter. I'm in good health. Well, now I am. So yeah. So you wouldn't have known, but there. Yeah. There you go. There's your thing. And there's a flipping thing today as well. Yeah. Couple of hours. If karma don't get Raphael, diabetes will. Yeah. So it was a couple of hours. Well, 3-4 hours in the hospital, but I'll be all right. Everything's fine. So they say. I'm all right. So yeah, some people sometimes don't believe me when I'm talking. So there's your thing today as well. I didn't show you. There you go. I'm doing the David Hay special there. I got it on both arms. I couldn't get blood for one, so I went to the other. So yeah, it's a couple of hours today, but I'm all right. Oh my God, nobody in his chat hits harder than life. Oh my God, stop that stuff. Stop it, Peter Powell. Stop it now. Behave yourself. So yeah, he knows nothing about the sport. Yeah, but and unfortunately, boxing today is rigged with people that haven't got a clue about good journalism. And the other thing is not only good journalism. The other thing is a good journalist quotes their source. Now, imagine that article that was put there. Any who've done any sort of writing or worked done anything at university level, imagine that article being put through as a university exam on how to write a paper. So let me read the article and then you tell me what you think. But for me, I've got to get the article. I just find it funny. Oh dear. No, got it done an hour and a half. I don't know if he's up, but we'll see. It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
About 5 minutes, Ingram.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, because we've just been sick.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. 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 If they used the article, then they'd be dropped out and they'd be ended up repaying their full tuition fee. It stinks that bad. What grade would you give it if you were a teacher market? If I was a grade, I'd give it a U, ungradable. Kebab. Russ pay-per-view time. balls deep with Russell. You can tell. You can just tell Rafael had never done any boxing training or anything. Just so close. But the people there will just sit down and love it. The thing is, see, I don't understand. If you're in a position that you are there, he's actually considered. I think he's considered. He rates the best boxing journalist in 2000 and something 15. Was he got that? And Steve Kim as well said that Carson Jones had lost the fight as well. But he actually said that Carson Jones was losing the fight against Margarita. According to what I heard through Twitter, but I could be wrong there. Yes, man, go far in life. Spencer Ferron, cough, cough. Russ never sleeps. Ask him about this guy on Twitter who's robbed 100,000 off boxing fans. Yeah, that's another story altogether. Yeah, we'll try and talk to him in 5 minutes. I'll see what he says. Let me see what he says. I'm just tweeting him now. Adam Smith or Raphael? Adam Smith. When Fat Dan got into the game, he thought all them pizzas had something to do with the sport boxing. Yes, he always attaches Paul Smith photos. I love Russ. Russ crazy in his Hartley reporting. There he goes. He's typing, so I don't know what's going on. What? Is my time wrong? Unless my clock is wrong. I've seen Sky credit you when they have taken stuff from you, Ingram. Really? Have you? I never have Raphael versus Adam Smith. I've never seen. It's 225. Yeah, he's telling me to ring him back in. He's telling me to ring him back in 35, like 12:35. Triple threat: Ellie, Hearn, Raphael. Great. Raphael versus Adam Smith 4-rounder. Raphael versus Russell Hartley will be better. I'm going Russell by knockout. Imagine Russ on the Sky broadcast watching all the Stay Busy fights. Oh dear. Oh God. I've seen Sky credit you when they've taken your stuff. I've never seen Sky credit me once. I don't remember Sky credit me for anything. Who's worth, Ellie Setback or Raphael? I like Ellie Setback. I like Ellie. I like Ellie's. I know some of his stuff ain't great, but you know what? I will always give Ellie Setback credit. And do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because Ellie Setback, you got to say, he's a hustler. He hustled from the start. Do you know what I mean? When people were paying him no mind. Ellie Setback was a hustler, and then everyone else just kind of jumped off of that afterwards. But Ellie Setback was a hustler, man. I've seen Sky mention in relation to shoe stuff. Well, I guess they had no choice in the end, didn't it? But yeah, I think so. I haven't seen that. I like Ellie, but he's creepy. Yeah, he's done one or two creepy videos, I've got to say. But my good mate sparred him. Have you ever met Setback Ingram? He seems a weird character. I think he's just. Imagine it's that crazy, creepy sort of behavior is what people like. The Daily Mail, yeah, of course, the Daily Mail. But you know what? There was about, I think, at least 150 articles that went global. That those interviews I did with Peter Few, they went, when I mean global, they went global. I saw crap in Australia, China, Japan, all sorts of strange places, Africa. I remember getting up and reading it in the newspapers. It was all over the place. So yeah. So it's what it is, you know. You see what? I'm not gonna knock another man down. I'm not gonna knock another channel. I certainly wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't knock another channel. I'll tell you why. Yeah, you can't. Ellie puts in the work. Shamey spastic. Well, I'd love to kick in the balls. Listen, you can't knock Ellie's setback. He's got his way and he's got his style, and he's successful. He's successful, and I think that if I were in America in the same situation as Ellie, I'd probably be pissing a lot of people off as well. So it is what it is, isn't it? I hate when this is reporting. Thoughts on boxing gossip, Hatman, Wingy, and Boxing Voice. Now, Boxing Voice, I remember Boxing Voice before they got started. I was the first person, and it's official. I was the first person to do a boxing podcast on Google. And if you don't believe me, check it out. And then it was the boxing. It was called the Boxing Hangout with a guy from Newcastle called Phil Lindsay. Me and Phil Lindsay used to do a show every Sunday while I was in Grenada back in 2012. That's when Google first came out. So we did that, and then I spoke to the Boxing Voice when they really the Boxing Voice when they very first started out. Before the Boxing Voice, now I don't know how many on YouTube remember this, but there was a guy called the Boxing Voice, and he was nighttime. He had a bald head, and he had this really cool, slick voice and real radio voice. I don't know if anyone remembers the Boxing Voice. He was really good, and then obviously you had the Boxing Voice, the group of guys that came afterwards. Then Gossip. I featured him on the channel 2 or 3 times already. Cool dude, love boxing gossip. Hatman, cool dude. Nez, no, it wasn't Nez. No, it wasn't Nez. Definitely was not Nez. This guy was the Boxing Voice. He was the original Boxing Voice. The one guy, and he had a radio voice, and he had a microphone. He did it cool, man, because it was him. There was another guy, Gambino. There was Gambino. There was him. There was the Big Ragu. There was Mr. Boxing Today is great, but Mr. Boxing Today is like, it's kind of like back in the early 2000s. That's what Mr. Boxing Today is like. Mr. Boxing Today is like back then. He's got that sort of old school flavor to him, Mr. Boxing Today. That Boxing MD left after an argument with Nez and co. LOL. Yeah, you've got also your Wingy Boxing. Shout out to Wingy Boxing, definitely. I like Wingy. All time for Wingy. To be fair, I've never watched Next Big Pod Royal. I've never watched it, to be honest, or listened to it. But I hear that they do some great stuff. So listen, I've got not a bad word to say to anybody really. As long as they're doing the work, anybody who takes the time to sit down and put their face on camera or to do a podcast and edit the podcast and dedicate themselves to it, shout out to everybody. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's very easy for people to sit back and criticize. Yeah, I know the Daily Mirror mentioned me. Yeah, Pulev, the body banger. That's what I'm talking about. Nez v Wingy, best fight since Hagler Hearns. Everyone argues with Nestor Gibbs. LOL. He's funny. The beat was good. Yeah, I like the beat. He was cool. Chris Carlson. That's another one. Shout out to Chris Carlson if he's watching. You and Wing. Yeah, we've talked about it for years. Maybe one day we will do it. Listen, I think I'm the king of crossovers. I've got to be the king of crossovers. How many crossover shows did I do? I did a crossover show with the ATG radio. What do I make of Coogan Cassius? Not really, not a lot. Coogan's cool. Coogan's cool. James are cool. Again, guys who hustle from the start. Do you know what I mean? You can't knock anyone who's on the hustle. Anyone who's on a hustle and they've made it, or they've been successful, they've done well, you can't knock the hustle, because hypocritical. Because if you're knocking the hustle, then you're knocking whatever you're doing. So the hustle. Ingram, do streams of beats AJ again? Your debates were classic. Man, when I was in Grenada, I did nothing but debate with them guys, and we had some real crazy debates when I was in Grenada, real crazy, and we'd be on there like 2-3 hours at a time. That's great, but man, it's tiring. You got to have some real stamina to be with them guys. But yeah, them guys are cool. So shout out to Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Shout out to EJ Boxing, of course. Wingy Boxing, all the UK podcasts. Shout out to them, and of course the American ones as well. So you know, everyone's got their problem. But listen, people got beef with me. They don't know me. They'll beef me and say I brown nose this person. When I was trying to get the interviews with Furies, I was brown nosing the Furies. When I was trying to get the interview with Staverns, I was brown nosing Stavern. When I interviewed Wilder, I was brown nosing Wilder. When I interviewed Thurman, I was brown nosing Thurman. When I was interviewing Crawford, I was brown nosing Crawford. You know, people are idiots, absolute idiots. The fact that you're trying to get interviews with people and actually bring them out of the shell and get you the exclusives and get the information, that's not brown nosing. That's you trying to get information. And if the fact that I've built relationships with these people, that's not brown nosing. That's just getting information. Brown nosing is where you actually, everything they say, you're going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever you say, I believe. Well, I've never been one of them kind of people. I've always questioned. You look at any of my interviews, I've questioned. I've always questioned anybody I've spoken to. I've questioned, whether it be Peter Fury, Tyson Fury. I just posted a video just today of myself when me and Tyson went on a back and forth. We were talking about Chisora and Klitschko. Yeah, I've seen Apollo. I've known Apollo for years. Even when people were talking to Apollo, also I still talk to Apollo up to a couple of days ago. So shout out to Apollo James Jackson. He's the guy. Apollo James Jackson was the guy that inspired me. Actually, I could tell you a little story about Apollo James Jackson. I'll tell you one story. I'll give you the date or the time. I was working for Fight Hype. A lot of you didn't even know that. I was working for Fight Hype. And shout out to Ben Scott from Fight Hype. Hope you're well, my friend. I may have told the story before, but I'll tell you anyway. And I wanted to get into boxing. Like, I wanted to get into, because I've already done. I was doing stuff with the Frank Bruno Boxing Academy, doing boxing in schools and stuff around East London and up in Kent and in the pupil referral units and stuff like that. But I wanted to do some. I really want to get into the reporting side of things. And Fight Hype said, "Okay, here's your shot, voluntary. Get yourself down to." They gave you press credentials to go down to Hay versus Chisora. And I told Apollo about it because I loved what Apollo was doing, and he reached out to me. We met up, and he said, "You know what? For your first day, here's your camera." So he gave me this camera, and the camera he gave me. Well, anyway, I had my camera and I took his camera, and on the day I got interviews with. I'll tell you, my first day I got John Rawling, not just John Rawling, no, Jim Rosenthal, Frank Warren, David Hay, Chisora's people, didn't get Chisora. And then when they did the face-off, I was right in the middle of the face-off between Hay and Chisora. And if you look at one of the I think the Box Nation, I was either in the second episode or the third episode of that. But anyway, he gave me this camera, and I was doing an interview between myself and Adam Booth, and it was probably one of my best interviews ever, simply because it was nice, organic, back and forth between myself and Booth. I said, I can't imagine Hay getting any heavier to fight Chisora, coming about 210, 215. He says, why? What are you? I said, are you? Booth asked me if I was Mystic Meg, and I said to him, well, if I was Mystic Meg, what's the point of me interviewing you? I don't need you. So it was kind of like a back and forth, but it was good stuff. But yeah, we were getting into it, myself and Booth, not in a nasty way. It was really good. We got into it, and then Apollo's phone camera cut out of me, and then of course it had no sound to it. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, man. And then I did an interview with Jim Watt. Would you believe I did an interview with Jim Watt, and had no sound. 15 minutes interviewing Jim Watt, no sound. Booth must be hard to interview. He's not. I don't find him hard to interview at all. I think he actually knew who I was before I interviewed him. That's something. I like Adam Booth. I like him. I'm not sure. I like him. I like him. Oh, hold on. Let me call Russell and I. Let's give the guy a call. Let's give the man a call. Russell. Hello?
You're right.
I'm all right. You okay?
You're right.
Yes.
You're right, kid.
I'm
Not
good.
so bad, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, I was busy talking to these boxing fans. Now, how are we doing anyway?
Well, I don't know. I've got about 100 new followers today. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, well, you and your ranked with me the last time with the whole on the Golovkin show. Obviously, speaking truth, they seem to like it. So tell me, what the hell's going on with this? Somebody told me something about some guy taking a whole load of money from boxing fans. What's all this all about?
Oh. It's a guy called Simon Clayton. He's sort of like one of them guys that come into boxing and sort of like hang around the fighters. They women, they go to the dinners. You know, like John, for instance, John Murray. You know the boxer John Murray from Manchester.
Yeah.
He's a nice kid, John. Now he had a dinner, didn't he, for 170 people.
Right.
Now, obviously, he had tickets, that Simon Clayton, and he sold them. Now he owed John £6,200. He turned up with £1,200. So he's obviously kept 5,000, hasn't he?
Okay.
And what he's been doing, he's been robbing Peter to pay Paul. He's been moving debts about. When people are screaming for the money, he's been giving them it. You know, because not everybody screams for the money. They give up, don't they? Because it's embarrassing asking for money, innit?
Yeah.
I have it myself. You know, I'm in motor trading. Boxing isn't my sole income because there isn't that much money in boxing. But you know, I make a living in motor trade. And say, for instance, somebody owes me some money, and you know them. I'm not going to hound them for it, but it sort of weighs you down after a bit, doesn't it? There's no worse than asking for money you're owed. And he's been robbing Peter to pay Paul. And, you know, I put that reward out for some tickets for our show on 13th. And people have just been sending me information. And if you go look on Brian King's profile, now Brian's obviously an hardcore boxing fan. They do the next big pod, don't they, with Simon Clayton. And that's folded now, I believe. But Brian's giving like £2,320, I think. And there's other people have given money, and he's been moving money about, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I can explain it. Getting tickets from that matchroom like John Ryder and all them, and selling them, but not putting anything on. But he's been leading people into a false sense of security because they've not been going to StubHub for the tickets. They're buying tickets at £2,000 at face value. They're not even paying charges on them. So I thought, this is good. it's better than Matchroom, isn't it? Because if you buy a $2 grand ticket for Matchroom, you get like a surcharge on it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to StubHub, you can pay up to $8 grand for a ringside ticket for a Joshua fight. So that's what we're doing. Then all of a sudden, he's just hit everybody in one go, hasn't he? But this has been going on for like about 2 years now since the Dillian White fight.
Okay.
So it's been going on, and people have been chasing him for the money, and he's been doing all sorts of charity walks and auctioning gloves, and he's sort of wormed his way in everywhere. Now all of a sudden he's up sticks and gone, hasn't he? It's not good. I don't agree with anything like that. It puts boxing back. Boxing goes backwards when it does that. I mean, I know myself. Our last show, Dennis said he's 100 tickets there, see what he can do with them. I didn't sell all of them. I ended up giving, probably about 40 tickets away. But then people I gave the tickets away to, I put posters in their business. And then the other 60 tickets that were left, I gave to the fire service. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So, because rather than have them just thrown in a bin, you might as well give them away. We're trying to get people to come to watch boxing, aren't we?
Yeah.
So why do we need a guy like this in boxing that's going to take out boxing? You don't get in boxing for money. I tell people, they say, how did you get in boxing? How did you get in with Dennis? I said, I got in there through hard work and, is it a cliche, hard work and dedication. But you have to earn your stripes, don't you? But you don't get in boxing for money. You get in for the love of the sport.
Absolutely.
And if you get some money along the way, Ingram, it's a
bonus.
Isn't it? Don't go in it for money. But he's obviously gone in it for money, and there's always an angle with him, isn't there? And what he's done is wrong. I mean, I'm not going to say the lady's name. I spoke to a couple. They look at quite a well-to-do couple. I think they're from Cheshire. That they were spending thousands going, but they were always chasing with the money. And how he's done it is you enter a verbal agreement with somebody for tickets for a large amount of money. If you don't give them the tickets, it's a verbal agreement. So you haven't really got much of a leg to stand on, but you can sue that person. But if they've got no money anyway, what's the point? But once he starts paying you some of that money back via a bank transfer, even if it's £100 here or £100 there, he's more or less correcting it. So there can't be. It's not a criminal proceeding for that. It's civil, and he knows this. So he's preyed on people's weaknesses. Are you with me? It's a bad thing what he's done. But obviously he's out of boxing now because he'll never get through. He'll never get in boxing ever again now. He'll not be welcome at any shows. Everybody knows what he looks like. And boxing's a small community, and there's enough people in boxing that are wrong-uns who have got prominent positions without people who are on the fringes of boxing taking ticket money like that. I mean, it's not like he's ripping fighters off, which is bad enough as it is what promoters do. You're ripping the fans off. Without the fans, there ain't no boxing, is there?
No, there isn't.
So I don't agree what's happened, and I'm disgusted by it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a stand against it. Plus, I have a soft spot down for Brian King and all them podcast lads and that. They put a lot of time and effort in, like you do, into boxing. And they've trusted him, and he's had them off, and it's wrong, isn't it? And the guy didn't even have a job. He had a job at Waitrose, and he was stealing money out, Taylor Summer, and he obviously thought he was a star, going to all these shows, sat ringside. It all went to his head, and he probably wanted to be like these people who are ringside, who've got good jobs and work hard, or I don't know, he just got sent into a situation where the temptation was there. But I think it came to a head when the kid in the shower slipped, before the Frampton fight.
Yeah.
And he took all the ticket money, off the fans. And he were going to give them the tickets, obviously that night or the next morning. He must have got wind of the injury, and then he's gone, he's done one. And then ever since then, people have been chasing him for the money, haven't they?
Oh, my God.
Some people have blamed Barry McGuigan, but I think he's innocent in all this. But some people have said, well, he's selling your tickets for your fights and that, but to be honest with you, I don't think they know anything about it. About what he was doing. I don't know full ins and outs. But I know he was doing commentating at Steve Wood's shows, and Steve Wood this week has defended the kid on social media, but I don't think he knew all the full story. I mean, some of the things I've seen on here today is horrific. Some of the scams he's got going on. I mean, one of these scams on here is had some mock Josh Taylor shirts made up. Have you seen them on Brian King's timeline?
No.
And he's been selling them, but they don't even exist. And he's taking money off people for the merchandise and just not paying them. So that to me is fraud, isn't it?
Oh dear.
I don't like to hear people going to police because I'm not from that background, but this is how I look at it. If you're not a criminal, you're a straight person, you go to work and somebody rips you off, the proper thing to do is to go to the police because you're not involved in crime.
Right.
Now, I'm not involved in crime, but obviously I was no angel in my younger days, so I don't believe in that. I believe in an eye for an eye and I'll deal with my own problems.
Right.
But people who have not been down that path, they're in the rights to go to the police, aren't they, really?
Yeah, of course.
So it's their business what they do. I'm not going to tell them how to deal with the situation, but I know how I deal with it, and it wouldn't be like most people would, but I don't agree with what he's done, and it puts boxing back. And I think the boxing community have showed a lot of strength and passion this last few days and made a stance against this guy, and I think that's good that social media have outed him, put his picture all over, and he wants people need to know that he is a wrong-un. Like I said, there's enough wrong-uns in boxing without people like him. So I think it's wrong, and I really do. My sympathies go out to them people that have lost their money. I think it's wrong, but what can you do? I'm raging over it myself, because he's like I said, Ingram. You know yourself what it's like for them shows. The time, the effort I put in. I mean, even like up to the other day, we're helping Peter Fury out with posters and flyers for his business, and they've had people for his fight. Sorry, they've had people at Man United fights handing flyers out. It's an hard slog. It's like going back to olden days. You know, we used to put posters up on lampposts.
Yeah.
You remember them in London? You see them all over.
Yeah. I remember those.
Well, Ed Robinson at Sky used to do that for Frank Maloney. Well, that's how it's going now. Boxing, we're having to go about football matches with flyers because you get a lot of crowded people going into one place, so hand the flyers out. And if you hand 5,000 flyers out and you get 100 tickets, you've had a good day, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got 100 people interested in boxing, but it's hard. It's a hard slog. There's only Eddie Hearn making any money, and he only makes money on the Joshua shows. All the rest of them, I'd be very surprised if he made a profit.
Wow. Okay.
It's bad, isn't it, what's gone on, Ingram? Do you agree?
Well, it's not very good, is it? I saw a video with him in it. It was like a 20-second video, and he looked like he had some tablets in a. Yeah,
it was Glenn Butrell, wasn't it? He had loads of packages of Glenn Butrell. Plus there's pictures of him on the internet, stood there with a grow. You know, an internet grow.
Yeah.
So it's not good. It's not good, and like I said, I hope that I hope he's found and severely dealt with, because that's what he needs. He needs dealing with. But like I said, it's not good what's happened. It's bad for boxing. I'm gutted myself, mate. Gutted. Proper gutted. But you know, it's one of the things, isn't it?
Did you manage to see?
Whenever there's money, there's temptation. Sorry.
Did you manage to see Carson Jones and Antonio Margarito?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought Carson Jones was robbed.
There you go.
I thought he was robbed. Jobbed it.
Dan Rafael had him up had Margarito up 6-1.
Dan Rafael had Margarito up 6-1.
Yes.
Well, Dan Rafael needs his eyes testing, doesn't he? He was probably eating a meatloaf sandwich at the time of the fight and not concentrating on the fight, mate. There's no way he would have up 6-1. Did you have him up 6-1?
No, I bloody well didn't. I spoke to Carson Jones straight afterwards.
I had it 5-2 to Carson Jones.
I did. Well, can you explain to me how a guy can quit on his stool and still win a fight?
You what, mate?
How does a fighter quit on his stool, the referee call the fight off, and still he gets out of the corner and raises his hands? How does that work?
It only works in Mexico, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, you know, the great fight has been announced, the super fight, AJ versus Pulev. I'm sure you're hopping happy about it.
Well, I did say it had happened, but it's not a good fight, is it? It's who wants to go watch that? He's been knocked out by Vladimir. He's just gone 12 rounds with Kevin Johnson. Who wants to watch that when they could dump that belt in dustbin, dump the WBA belt in the dustbin, and go fight Wilder, and just forget that.
I said,
and just go have a proper fight.
Him and Wilder should have fought. Him and Wilder should have fought for the undisputed title. They're only fighting a week apart from one another.
It's a disgrace. Nobody's interested in Joshua Pulev, are they?
Eddie Hearn thinks it's a great fight.
Eddie Hearn thought Molina were a great fight. He said he had a squeaky bum. Thinking about the power of Molina. He said, I'll tell you what, Coogan, my bum is squeaking. And he's really up for this, Eric Molina. Yeah, we're up for it, wasn't he?
First 10 seconds of the fight. The first 10 seconds of the fight, his foot was touching the back rope. That's how up for it he was.
Yeah, he wasn't up for it, mate. He took his 600 grand and went, didn't he? You know what I mean?
So what do you think happens now then? You think you're going to get Chisora White too then?
Yeah, you're going to get that as chief support, aren't you? And we're all going to say, I told you so. What could he have as chief support? He ain't got one, has he?
Not really.
All he could have is Eric Molina against Dillian White, but because I've seen Sky are bigging Eric Molina up all of a sudden, aren't they? Have you noticed how he's coming back into the equation?
Uh-oh.
Could we have Eric Molina, the school teacher, back on the scene, eh? With his immense power.
I always give him a call and find out.
He needs to stick to teaching school kids the maths, doesn't he? What do you think? He's not a boxer, is he? Oh, God.
What do you think of this fight potentially between White and Ortiz?
I think Luis Ortiz would destroy Dillian White inside 6 rounds. I think he'd destroy him, mate. It'd be a massacre, a bit bloodbath.
What about Deontay Wilder?
Deontay Wilder against Dillian White?
No, against...
4 rounds. 4 rounds, mate.
No. Deontay Wilder versus Ortiz.
That's a good fight, that. That is a very good fight. That's a pick and fight, isn't it?
Really?
I think Ortiz has got the more skills. I think they've got the same power. He's probably got more skills.
Yeah, but what's...
I think Ortiz is not as... I don't know, they're both not tested, are they, really?
Ah, you just said it. Exactly what I said on my show. You just said it.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not been tested.
Not been tested, mate. So that's how I look at it. And I think that Wilder's not been tested. Who's Wilder's best win? Who?
Stavern.
Stavern, and he were out of shape.
There you go.
And he don't really want the rematch, does he?
No. So he's gone and he's got the
doing everything he can not to have that rematch.
There you go.
So
what do you think?
Do you know what I mean? But what can you do, mate?
Not much you can do. Not much at all. Joseph Parker's going to be, I think that he arrives in Vegas this week for sparring.
You what, mate?
Joseph Parker arrives this week. I think he's in Vegas at the moment for sparring.
Well, he's untested as well, isn't he? Unless you can say Takam.
What about Andy Ruiz?
Yeah, I just said Takam and Andy Ruiz. But that could have gone either way, couldn't it?
Yeah, I actually thought Andy Ruiz beat him, but there you go.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I thought Andy Ruiz won it, but there you go. Only by a round or two, but I thought Andy Ruiz won it. I was also going to say to you,
I've got concerns about Huey Fury. Mainly that like maybe he's been overtrained. It's not for me to say, but I mean all that. I mean,
yeah. Well, Peter Fury's training camps, right?
Yeah.
It's a well-known fact because I've been to. I've seen Peter in action, and obviously my good friend David Allen from my village. He said when he were with Peter Fury, he said it was the best 2 years of his life, but he also said it was the worst 2 years of his life. They're pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal, like Peter's training. Everybody knows that. Peter believes that all fighters should be 20-round fighters. He has an old school mentality of training that if your eyeball's hanging out, he ain't gonna pull you out, and he'll tell you straight. He don't pull fighters out. He's not gonna save you. You're there to fight. Now, pretty brutal, but it's a fighting game. It's a hurt business. We're not in the. Could you imagine O'Hara Davis with Peter Fury? Could you imagine what they said in getting in Peter's Land Rover on way home? O'Hara Davis quitting like that. Peter wouldn't put with that, would he?
No, he wouldn't.
Do you know what I mean? Peter's there to get you fit, and you will be fit. Look at Tyson. They do 12 rounds standing on the head, don't they?
Yeah. They're always in tremendous shape, though, Steve.
Does it. Pardon?
They're always in good shape. That everyone from that camp's in good shape.
Yeah, they are all in good shape, mate. But they do 12 rounds standing on the head. Frotch does 12 rounds standing on your head, but McCracken doesn't do any cardiovascular when he was trading with him. McCracken believes that you do your own cardiovascular and he'll just sort your technical work out. Peter believes that he's going to be there with you from getting up in the morning to going to bed at night. He's an all hands-on.
Right.
A bit like Brian Hughes, who trained Robin Reed. He used to take him to Saddleworth Moor and have him doing 12-mile runs. Now, half a marathon is 13 mile. Now, Brian Hughes used to take him up in his old Rover, take him up to Saddleworth Moor and drop him off. You know, Robin Reed.
Yeah.
Anthony Farnell, Michael Gomez, you know, Scott Quigg, you know, towards the end of their careers. He joined them, and he'd take him up there Saturday and a Sunday, all weathers, 12-mile it is round it. Yeah, that's an hard run. That if it's 13 mile for a marathon, they'd probably be doing that in for an hour 40 minutes, something like that. You know, hour 45.
Mm-hmm.
That is a tough, brutal run because it's a lot of hills involved as well.
Right.
You're up, you're down, and every mile, like I said to you before, they get an orange or a quarter of an orange. He'd stop in car and he'd pass them it, and they'd go run by and they'd eat that quarter of an orange, and they'd be counting them oranges. They'd know once they got, say, like 8 oranges eaten, 8 quarter of an oranges. They'd be, mate, we've done 8 mile now. You can imagine Robin. to Michael Gomez. Hey, Michael, we've done 8 mile now, 4 to go. But Robin were like seasoned boxer in them days, and they were young lads. You know, they were like whippets. Robin were telling me, but that's the dark side, not dark side, but the tough side of boxing that people don't see. It ain't all about knocking people out in fancy pairs of shorts and fancy boots and fancy arenas. There's hard graft that has to be put in with boxing. It's the hardest sport in the world. That's why every boxer gets my respect, even though, I give some people a bit of stick, because some people just come out with stupidness, comments that they make, trying to promote fights. It just makes the sense look daft, but every boxer, in my opinion, deserves respect.
Of course. Because
it's the hardest sport in the world. It's not like kicking a football around. If you have a bad day at football, your 10 mates can pull you through and you can win 3-2, can't you?
Yeah.
You have a bad day at the office in boxing, you go into hospital. As you know yourself, Ingram, you're ex-boxer. It's
absolutely
tough sport, isn't it, mate?
Tough sport. So you got to do the work beforehand.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
This will be interesting. The question I was going to ask you is completely the broadcaster for Fury versus Parker. Now, Adam Scott asked the question. Hennessy was supposed to announce a broadcaster for the fight yesterday.
Yeah, it's tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
He'll announce it tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Tomorrow 10 o'clock, yeah, tomorrow 10 o'clock.
Okay. What do you make of the World Boxing Series being on TV?
I think it's good, but I also think, to be honest with you, I'm glad, but I think it's good because Richard Boxer is supposed to be the main man there with an exclusive deal.
Right.
Now, he obviously hasn't got an exclusive deal, has he? Somebody's gone above him, hasn't they?
Yep.
So that's good because it were between Dennis Hobson, my boss, and Richard Poxon, who got the ITV deal. Now, we had a stable, with 22 fighters, or involved with 22 fighters, managing and promoting. Richard Poxon had one fighter, but yet they give him the deal. How do you work that out? He's got no track record, being involved with TV. Dennis has been involved with BBC, ITV, Sky, Setanta, Loaded TV. What's the other one? Spike TV.
Yep.
So HBO, Showtime. So we've been at Show Sports as well in America. So he's got experience of being involved with all them TV companies and the Hatton Mayweather, Hatton Castillo, all that.
Yep.
Seven world champions he's been involved with. What's Richard Poxon done? What world champions has he been involved with? Adam Etches, what's he? He's a journeyman now, isn't he? So he's not experienced enough. And no disrespect against Richard Poxon, he's not my cup of tea, but he's now being found out, hasn't he? He can't mix in them circles. It's like putting a Division 2 footballer in the Champions League game. He's going to get found out, isn't he? He might have a few fancy touches and all that, but once he comes up against another, if he's a right back, he might come up against a left winger who's world class, like I don't know, whoever.
Gareth Bale.
The kid up the Chelsea. Gareth Bale, he might come up against him, and he's going to be found out, isn't he?
Yep, could do.
Richard Poxon's been found out at ITV, and he'll be outed soon. And what will happen there? You'll have people, with your Cali Sauerlands and probably maybe other promoters sniffing about. They're like packs of wolves, but it's the nature of the beast. If you want to be in boxing, you've got to be a wolf. Oh, 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 oh! Or you can be a sheep. If you're a sheep, you're not going to last long, are you?
I don't know. Being a sheep in boxing seems to be a good thing because you just follow what everybody else says.
Yeah, you just follow what everybody else says. But sometimes the wolf comes and gets that sheep, doesn't he?
Tell me about it. We'll
see what happens. It's going to be good how it unfolds, but it's a good tournament, and I'm glad the cruiserweight one's good.
Yes, absolutely.
I've got no time for Cali Sauerland because he's had everything held on a plate, and any boxers who are out there listening to sign with Sauerlands because there's 64 pages contracts to tie you in knots. That's why I've got no time for him. Plus, we all know about the decisions that used to go on in Germany. The worst decisions ever made in Germany in the last 20 years in Ring Magazine were the Arthur Abraham, Edison Miranda one, where the referee, Randy Newman, stopped the fight, awarded it to Edison Miranda. Willie Sauerland jumped out of his chair, said, "Fight on, you can't do that." They took 5 points off Miranda, and he lost on points, didn't they? He'd have been disqualified after losing a couple of points, wouldn't he?
Yep.
They took 5 off him, mate, and it went to points. That referee were a disgrace. And then we all know about the Sven Otka, Robin Reed, don't we? Worst stoppage at the millennium, the first 10-year millennium. We all know about that, don't we? Roger Tillerman, a family friend who was referee at Sauerlands. That's another Sauerlands show. So I haven't got no time for Sauerlands. But if he can out Richard Poxon at ITV, good, because Richard Poxon, in my opinion, is a wrong un.
So, okay, fair enough. So we've talked about Hughie Fury. We've talked about
Hughie will beat Parker, mate. Don't let anybody tell you. He will beat Parker Ewing. I know people are worried about him being overtrained, but Ewing Fury, right? He's a 12-round fighter. So's Parker. So it's going to go to 12 rounds, isn't it? So then you're going to hope for an home decision, aren't you? So don't be surprised if Ewing wins a split decision, mate.
Charlie C.
You know your boxing.
Of course, Charlie C says, "Tell Russ I wish him well and thank him for exposing the fraud, Simon Clayton. Boxing doesn't need him."
Clayton, yeah.
Clayton.
Thank you very much for your comment, Charlie. That's great, mate. Yeah, my pleasure.
So you've got a lot of fans, by the way.
I don't know about that.
You've got a lot of people.
I don't know about being famous. More like infamous, innit? Probably got about 20 fans and I'm infamous, but I'm not famous. I ain't got fans. I get a lot of red letters from bailiffs, if that's any good. I've no fans. I've a lot of haters.
Russ, talk to me about boxing media for a minute, because we have a little situation today where a well-known boxing organization took my interview, didn't actually refer to me or to BWTM Sports, but referred to it as a phone interview, and Dan Raphael's name was the main heading there next to it. And people on here are like fuming about it. What are your thoughts about boxing media today?
I think it's changed. I think years ago you used to have the old school lot, didn't you? Jeff Powell.
Yeah.
Colin Hart, Pat Sheenan, Bunty, all those guys.
By the way, before you say,
they all dealt with things a bit differently to how it's all done now. Nowadays, you're swamped by cameras, phone cameras, and people who just want to barge into press conferences. Any old people, it could be women, men, they're just bouncing about with cameras and they're asking questions and they're not trained to do it. And I think there's a lot of amateurs out there. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get on YouTube and I'll just go ask a few questions and get me son in limelight, try and be a star, I suppose. But a lot of them haven't done the hard work in the background like you. You're one of the highest qualified sports journalists in country, aren't you? You got one of the highest certificates or something.
Yep. Indeed.
You're a member of what do they call it?
The National Union of Journalists.
You're a member of National Union of Journalists.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people who are running around with these cameras and they haven't got any of that, have they? They're just winging it, aren't they?
Winging
piling promoters up and winging it. You know what I mean?
Well, promoters do like that though, because promoters can find somebody who's good, their little sheep, their little good boy, who's going to say all the right things at the right times and cover their backs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, promoters want men. They want people to blow smoke up their arse and tickle the bum. Now, the thing is, when you get somebody who's not prepared to do that, they don't want them people around them, because there's no worse than somebody saying to you, "No, I don't agree with you. That's wrong." Or no, or we don't need you today. It's human. We're creatures of habit as human beings, and we're not used to rejection. But sometimes you have to. It's tough love, and you have to have people around you who are going to say no. For example, right, Mike Tyson, when he was going off at rails, he needed somebody around him to say, "Hey, Mike, don't do that, Mike. That's wrong. No, you can't do that." Oh, no, I don't agree with that, Mike. No, that's what he needed. But he didn't have that, did he? So he went off rails. He had everybody saying, "Yeah, Mike. Yes, Mike." If Mike turned around and said, "You know what? I'm not training today," they'd say, "No problem, Mike." That were it.
Yeah.
Now, he went off at rails once he lost Kevin Rooney, because he knew with Kevin Rooney he had to work, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what were he with Kevin Rooney? 35-0. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it was close to the record. Yeah.
They were close to the record with Kevin Rooney, wasn't it, at the time?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he went. Did he go? Aaron Snowell, Mark Breland, and for the Tubbs fight, and then he got beat in the Douglas fight.
The Douglas fight, yeah.
So he might have been 35-0 then. With 37-0 when he lost.
He was close to, wasn't he in the 40s?
I can't remember, something like that.
Are you sure it was? Yeah.
Boxing's changed. You've got people in internet like yourself, but you're highly trained. You've paid your dues, haven't you?
Absolutely.
But there's people, what's that guy called from America? Ellie back reporting.
Oh my God.
Where did they get him from, mate? He's a zoomer, isn't he, mate? Where did they get him? He's a space cadet.
No, leave Ellie alone.
Where's he from? What planet is he from?
Planet.
Reporting. Where is he from, him, mate? He's not wrapped up right. He's not a full shilling, him, is he, mate? His cheese has slipped off his cracker, hasn't it? Hey, what do you think?
You know what? Ellie Satback was one of the guys that when I started off.
He's a pioneer. He's a pioneer.
He's a pioneer. Exactly. He's a pioneer. It's true. He is a pioneer.
What? Cheese falling off a cracker.
Oh.
He's not wrapped up right, mate, is he? He's like a banana with no skin. He's no good, mate. Honestly, where do they get him? Every time I see him, he's bouncing about around Robert Garcia's gym or James Tony's gym. Where do they get him from, him? If he walked in our gym at Sheffield, you know what I'd do? I'd tie him in knots and send him out. I'd take his camera off him and put it on eBay. If I ever see him. I swear to God, where do they get him from, him? Oh my God. What does Dan Raphael and people like that think? You know, people who've been in press years, Teddy Atlas, they see him walking about with a camera. Do you know what I mean? What is he on him? He has his favourites, though.
I would rather deal with him than Dan Raphael any day of the week.
Dan Raphael, Andre Ward's best mate.
Andre Ward's.
You're Andre Ward's best mate, you, Ingram. What are you on about?
I hate Andre Ward's best mate. I'm not his best mate.
You go to bed, and the last thing you can see when you get in bed at night is Julian Jackson knocking Errol Graham out.
Of course. Well, hey, listen, that's legendary stuff, and I've spoken to the great man many occasions.
Julian Jackson.
What a legend.
He's a bad man.
He's a bad man. But he's you know he's a bad man, though. You know he's a bad man.
Yeah, he is, but you know what? McClellan were badder. But I think he maybe just got cut. Jackson's light middle, wasn't he?
Yeah, really was, yeah. Here he was. But, you know, McClellan's a badder man.
Who would have thought Terry Norris with Jackson?
Jackson cleaned him out in a couple.
Yeah, he cleaned him out in a couple of rounds. Yeah, that were light middle, though, wasn't it?
Did you hear the story that when Julian Jackson was in a press conference? No, he was at a press conference, and Don King was Don King asked Sugar Ray Leonard if he wanted to fight Julian Jackson, and he went, "Hell no."
Yeah.
True story.
Well, everybody in boxing knows that Sugar Ray Leonard, he didn't want to fight Aaron Pryor, did he?
No.
140.
No.
Neither did Roberto Duran. They all swerved him, did they? Aaron Pryor were really, really short-changed in boxing, wasn't he?
Here's another one that was
too good for his own good, wasn't he?
Mike McCallum was another one.
He was short-changed. Errol Bomber Graham gave him the fight of his life, split decision.
Yeah.
When he were red hot, when they were both at the peak then.
Remember when Michael Watson was prime, he beat up Nigel Benn, and then Mike McCallum walloped him. Mike McCallum walloped him, beat the crap out of Watson.
Yeah, bashed him up today.
Badly.
Bashed him up there. And Eubank really lost that first fight against Michael Watson, didn't he?
Eubank didn't want anything to do with Mike McCallum. Swerved him.
Eubank didn't want anything to do with anybody. He beat 3 world champions at super middle, and he beat Bennett middle. He beat 4 world champions in 24 title fights. Yeah, I mean, he won 19 world title fights, but only 4 were world champions. So who were other 15?
I think somebody's got a question him about it.
Well, that's why he's not been in Hall of Fame. He's been retired 20 years, now in Hall of Fame.
Do you know something?
Ben's not in Hall of Fame.
Guess this. They're saying that Sambu Colombe, who beat Prime, beat McCallum, beat Harold Graham, beat Steve Collins. Who else he beat? Mike McCallum, Steve Collins. Yeah, he beat a few guys. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's crazy. But yeah, Gatti is. You know, there's people in Hall of Fame that get in who shouldn't be in there. Sylvester Stallone's in Hall of Fame. He's never had a fight in his life. Is that what it's all about?
I don't know.
Sugar's in the Hall of Fame. He's never had a fight in his life.
Oh, it's what Conor McGregor.
It's just boxing, I suppose.
If Conor McGregor got in the Hall of Fame, I won't be surprised, to be honest.
Jesus.
Christ. I don't know.
God,
It's not good. Right, Russ, I'm going to have to leave you. I've just been called by my American friends. They want me to get on their podcast. So I'm going to jump across to them now.
Well, listen, nice to speak to you and all the best to you and your family. And
Okay.
I'll speak to you tomorrow, Mike.
You got to say goodbye. By the way, you got to say goodbye to your fans.
All right, you take care. Thanks for supporting me, but keep supporting boxing. But most of all, keep brushing your teeth because we must whip Mr. Tooth Decay.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear me. So there you have it. There you have it. Right, that's it. I have to disappear. I'm going over to Bo Bland's show. He's got a show running now. I'm going to pop over to the States and go to Bo Bland's show. Okay, right. Check out Bo Bland, Truth and Facts Boxing. I'll be over there now. I'm going to go and have a chat with the people over there. Right, much love. Yeah, I will do. Let me see if I can find him now. Here's the link, people. If you want to still watch some boxing, go check out my man from the States, Bo Bland. Subscribe to his channel. Get over there. Literally, all the 23 people are in the room now. Go bum rush that channel right now. That's the link. Get yourself over there. That's my boy, Bo Bland. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll be over there in a tick. See you soon. See you soon, guys and girls.